Every story carries a whisper of the soul. Listening isn't enough. Feel it. This is Soul Stories.
The afternoon sun blazed over the long stretch of the highway, shimmering on the metal frames of roaring bikes parked outside a dusty roadside diner. Inside, 6 bikers sat around a corner booth, rough, loud, and impossible to ignore. Their leather jackets bore patches of their club, Iron Vultures, and their arms were covered in tattoos that told stories of wild roads and brotherhood. Laughter echoed through the diner as Rex, their leader, clinked his glass against the table. A tall man with broad shoulders and a deep scar cutting through his left eyebrow. Rex had the kind of presence that could silence a room. Despite his intimidating look, there was calm in his eyes, the kind earned by years of hardship and loyalty. Outside, the sound of crickets mixed with the low rumble of engines cooling in the heat. Everything felt still. Until suddenly, that stillness shattered. The door burst open. A small figure stumbled in, a little girl no more than 7. Her cheeks were streaked with dirt and tears, her bare feet scraped and bleeding. The room fell silent. Every head turned. She gasped for air, clutching her small chest, eyes wide with terror. "Please," she cried out between sobs. "Help, they're beating my mama." The waitress froze mid-step. The cook peeked out from behind the counter. But it was the bikers who reacted first. Rex stood up slowly, towering over the table. His deep voice cut through the silence like thunder. "What did you say, kiddo?" They came in a red truck," she stammered, her voice trembling. "They hurt my mama. Please help her." Rex crouched down, his rough hands gentle as he brushed a tear from her cheek. "Who are they?" he asked quietly. "I don't know. They took our things. They hit her. She told me to run." For a moment, no one spoke. Then Rex looked up at his crew. Blaze, Tank, Ghost, Hawk, and Diesel, each of them already standing, faces hardening with determination. "Mount up," Rex ordered, his voice low but fierce. "We ride." The bikers moved fast, helmets snapped on, engines roared back to life, and the ground shook beneath the thunder of their machines. The little girl climbed onto Rex's bike, clutching his jacket tightly as tears streamed down her face. As the dust rose behind them, the townspeople watched in awe. No one had ever seen the Iron Vultures move like that. Not for money, not for revenge, but for a cry for help. And somewhere down the road, a frightened mother prayed that someone, anyone, was coming. The engines roared to life like thunder, rolling across the open plains. 6 powerful bikes trembled beneath their riders, the sound echoing off the highway and scattering a flock of birds into the pale blue sky. Dust whirled around as the Iron Vultures rode out of the diner's lot, a wall of steel, leather, and determination. The little girl sat in front of Rex, clutching his jacket with both hands, her face buried against his chest. "Which way, sweetheart?" he shouted over the roar of engines. She lifted her head, wiping tears with her sleeve. "Down this road, then left, by the trees." Rex raised a hand, signaling his crew to follow. They cut across the main road and sped through the backwoods path, tires kicking up gravel and leaves. The hot wind rushed past their faces, and every mile tightened the knot in their chests. None of them spoke. They didn't need to. They all knew time was running out. After 10 tense minutes, they turned onto a narrow dirt trail. In the distance stood a small farmhouse, its paint chipped, roof sagging, and windows cracked. Out front sat a red pickup truck, engine still running, one door wide open. The sound of shouting carried through the trees. Rex slowed his bike and parked behind a line of tall grass. "Stay here," he told the girl gently, brushing her hair aside. "We'll get your mama." She nodded, her small voice trembling. "Please, don't let them hurt her." Rex's eyes hardened. "They won't." He gave a silent signal, 2 fingers up, then a closed fist. The bikers moved like shadows, spreading out around the property. Hawk and Blaze slipped to the back. Ghost and Diesel flanked the windows, while Tank, the biggest of them all, took position beside Rex. From inside came the sound of breaking glass and a woman's desperate cry. Rex clenched his jaw. He didn't wait another second. With one powerful kick, the old wooden door cracked open, slamming against the wall. Inside, chaos froze. Two drunken men were yanking a woman by her hair, dragging her across the floor, while a third rummaged through drawers, stuffing valuables into a bag. For a split second, everyone stared at the intruders. 6 bikers framed in the doorway, dust swirling behind them, eyes burning with fury. Then Rex spoke, his voice low but deadly. "Let her go." The men laughed. Big mistake. The Iron Vultures stepped forward as one, and what happened next, no one in that town would ever forget. "Let her go," Rex growled, his voice low and dangerous, the kind of voice that made even grown men freeze. The 3 intruders turned, half drunk and half smiling, their arrogance hiding the fear that was about to surface. "Who the hell are you?" One of them slurred, staggering to his feet. His hand tightened around the neck of a broken beer bottle. Rex took a slow step forward, boots crunching on the shattered glass scattered across the floor. The rest of the Iron Vultures fanned out behind him, 6 giants in black leather, faces carved with fury. The drunk man waved the bottle. "You bikers think you're tough." He sneered, "Big mistake." Rex didn't flinch. In one smooth motion, he grabbed the man's wrist, twisted hard, and sent him crashing to the ground. The bottle shattered harmlessly beside him. Tank stepped in, pinning the man down with a knee to his back, the wood floor creaking under his weight. The second intruder cursed and ran for the back door, but before he could even touch the handle, Blaze, the youngest biker, tackled him with a shoulder slam that sent both tumbling into the yard. The man hit the dirt, gasping for air. Blaze stood over him, breathing hard, jaw tight. "Stay down," he warned. The third man, realizing his buddies were finished, froze. His shaking hands went up. "We didn't mean," he stammered. "Shut it," a ghost cut in coldly, tying his wrists with a belt. In the corner, the battered woman struggled to sit up. Her face was swollen, lip bleeding, hair matted with dust, and then a small voice, "Mama." The little girl burst into the room, tears streaming down her cheeks. She ran into her mother's arms, sobbing uncontrollably. The woman wrapped her arms around her daughter, trembling, whispering, "It's okay, baby. It's okay now." Rex knelt beside them. "You're safe now, ma'am. We've got them." She looked up at him, eyes full of disbelief and gratitude. "Who are you people?" she whispered. He just gave a faint smile. "Friends." Outside, sirens began to wail in the distance. Rex pulled out his radio, calling it in. "Sheriff, this is Rex from the Iron Vultures. We've got 3 men detained at the farmhouse on Route 19. Victims safe." When the police arrived, they found the intruders tied to the fence, unharmed but pale and shaking, as if they'd seen ghosts. The sheriff looked at Rex and nodded slowly. "You did the right thing." Rex simply replied, "Just doing what needed to be done." As the bikers stood beside their bikes under the setting sun, none of them spoke. They didn't need thanks. They'd come for justice, and tonight, they'd delivered it. The flashing red and blue lights faded into the night as the ambulance pulled away, carrying the woman and her daughter to safety. The cool evening breeze brushed against the faces of the bikers, mixing with the smell of dust, gasoline, and justice served. The woman's voice trembled as she looked up from the stretcher. "I don't know how to thank you," she whispered, her eyes glassy with emotion. Rex stepped closer, resting a hand gently on her shoulder. "You don't owe us anything," he said softly. "Just keep that little girl safe. That's all the thanks we need." The child reached out from the ambulance window, her tiny hand waving at the men who had become her heroes. "Bye, Mr. Rex," she called out, her voice small but full of warmth. Rex smiled faintly, tipping his head in return. "Take care, little one." As the ambulance disappeared down the road, the iron vultures stood in silence, their bikes lined up under the fading light of dusk. The golden sun melted into the horizon, painting the sky in fiery shades of orange and purple. Tank broke the silence first. "Never thought I'd see the day we'd end up saving folks instead of scaring them." Rex smirked. "Guess even the meanest birds have a soft spot for family." Engines roared to life once more. 6 bikes thundered down the country road, their headlights slicing through the twilight. The sound echoed for miles, not as a warning this time, but as a song of redemption. A week later, the same diner where it all began was filled with murmurs and laughter. A local news crew had shown up, cameras flashing, asking about the mysterious group of bikers who'd stopped a violent attack and saved a woman and her child. Someone had filmed it, the sheriff arriving, the bikers standing guard, the little girl hugging Rex's leg before leaving. The video spread like wildfire online. Headlines read, "Guardian bikers save mother and child, true heroes in leather." People who once crossed the street to avoid them now nodded with respect. The waitress even brought their coffee on the house. "Didn't know angels rode Harleys," she said with a smile. Rex just chuckled. Sometimes angels wear leather. That night, as they rode off once more into the sunset, the iron vultures felt something new, not pride, but peace. And somewhere in the countryside, a little girl sat by her window, clutching a small toy motorcycle and whispering to her mama, "The bikers saved us. The bikers saved my mama."